In the ancient study of astrology, no section of the sky has inspired as much fascination, misunderstanding, and quiet apprehension as the eighth house. Often whispered about as the domain of mystery, shared wealth, and profound personal turning points, its true historical origin is far more subtle and intellectually rich than modern horoscopes suggest. Before it became associated with psychological depth or dramatic life transformations, the eighth house was part of a mathematical system designed by Hellenistic astronomers to understand the architecture of human experience. These early observers looked up at the night sky and sought to map the order of the cosmos onto the daily lives of individuals and communities. Understanding how this ancient concept evolved over thousands of years reveals a fascinating journey of human curiosity, cultural synthesis, and the eternal search for meaning in the celestial sphere. By looking beyond mystical speculation, we discover how human culture turned simple astronomical observation into a rich tapestry of symbolism. To understand the eighth house, one must first travel back to the ancient Mediterranean world, where astrologers mapped the sky into 12 equal divisions called houses. Unlike the zodiac signs, which tracked the annual movement of the sun across the heavens, the house system mapped the daily rotation of the earth. Hellenistic scholars assigned specific spheres of life to each division based on astronomical geometry and classical philosophy. The eighth house, positioned just above the western horizon, represented the place where planets began their descent into darkness and invisible space. Because it sat opposite the second house of personal possessions, early practitioners defined the eighth house as the realm of shared resources, inherited obligations, and financial debts to others. It was a practical concept rooted in civic life, partnership contracts, and familial legacies rather than supernatural mystery. Ancient citizens looked to these placements to understand their legal duties and communal ties in everyday society. During the golden age of Islamic scholarship, astronomers and translators preserved classical Greek texts and expanded their mathematical precision. Scholars working in vibrant centers of learning like Baghdad translated astrological treatises into Arabic and refined the calculations for house division. In this era, the eighth house gained new nuances as commentators examined economic contracts, estate administration, and social alliances across expanding trade routes. Medieval thinkers viewed the house as a reflection of mutual dependency between individuals, merchant guilds, and regional communities. It represented the financial agreements that bound families together and the shared risks of maritime commerce and caravan journeys. The emphasis remained grounded in real worldly concerns, tracking how material wealth shifted through inheritance, marriage settlements, and business partnerships across generations of merchant families. As Europe reawakened to classical learning during the Renaissance, astrological symbolism began blending with philosophy, alchemy, and esoteric literature. Scholars and artists started viewing the 12 houses not merely as astronomical zones or legal categories, but as symbolic stages of the human soul. The eighth house took on richer metaphorical meanings, representing emotional vulnerability, deep trust, and the inevitable cycles of loss and renewal. Renaissance philosophers drew vivid parallels between the eighth house and alchemical transmutation, where raw materials were broken down to form something new and refined. The house became associated with profound personal choices, hidden truths, and the courage required to navigate major life transitions. Writers and poets of the era reflected this shift, treating the eighth house as an emblem of mysterious transformation and spiritual rebirth. In the 20th century, astrology underwent its most radical transformation through the influence of modern psychology and archetypal theory. Thinkers like Carl Jung suggested that astrological symbols functioned as mirrors for the unconscious mind rather than literal external fate. Modern astrologers reinterpreted the eighth house through this psychological lens, shifting the focus from external events to internal growth and emotional awareness. Today, the eighth house is widely understood as the sector of emotional intimacy, psychological honesty, and shared vulnerability between people. It represents the deep waters of human connection, where individuals merge their lives, confront their hidden fears, and emerge stronger through authentic self-reflection. Rather than a place of passive destiny, It is viewed as a realm of conscious personal evolution and emotional maturity. It offers a timeless framework for understanding how we share our lives with others. Looking back across centuries of intellectual history, the evolution of the eighth house mirrors humanity's changing relationship with the unknown. What began as a geometric division of the evening sky evolved into a practical framework for civic life, then into a philosophical metaphor, and finally into a language for self-understanding. Each era reshaped the concept to reflect its own values, economic structures, and psychological insights. Whether one views astrology as ancient folklore or symbolic art, the story of the eighth house demonstrates how human culture continuously reinterprets ancient ideas to meet new emotional needs. It reminds us that our search for meaning has always bridged the practical and the profound, using the night sky as a canvas for the human journey across time. If you enjoyed exploring the surprising history behind ancient symbolic traditions, subscribe for more deep dives into the cultural origins of ideas we still discuss today. Share your thoughts in the comments below about which historical concept we should explore next.